Dave with your copter plugged into the USB connection. You click on connect link. You've got the proper setting there in the serial port, and we get her started up.
Voltage warning, 8.0 volts.
So now we can go and look at your data. That's where your, see how the data brings up your telemetry.
Voltage warning,
AQ diagnostic
4.2 volts.
telemetry. And there you are. You click on start telemetry, and these are your GPS values here. Obviously they're not working on the copter I have plugged them in, and when you first plug it in, first power it up, you won't have values, but within usually a minute the values will start changing. This is a copter that belongs to one of the other Daves, and I've been working on the GPS trying to get it to function, but it looks like it's a dead GPS receiver. I would really doubt that's going to happen to more than one person, because I haven't seen it out on looking at a lot of boards. So it's an unusual situation. So you saw how I clicked on telemetry. You can stop it or start it right down here. Once you get it running, you keep running, and if you put the copter in a windowsill, it gets pretty good GPS. The values will show, or stretch the USB cable outside and let it sit outside, and you get a pretty good signal. But one way or the other, you should see the GPS signal working here, and the key value here is the HACC, and when that value goes down to 3 or less, the blue light goes on. So you'll often see it sitting at 5 or 10 if you're in a really bad GPS area, meaning that's 5 meters of the GPS points that are coming in are scattered to. And when you get it to 3, it's 3 meters. All the average is under 3 meters of variation. So that's how this works, and I could plug it into a different copter and you could actually see those numbers move, but I think you'll figure it out. When you get done, just close it out and unplug and go fly if you get her under 3. Hope this helps. Trying to do a video that'll help you guys get to the next stage of setting up your copter. You probably know most of this, but I think could help you a little bit. Documentation, Quadcopter, and we'll go down a little bit. We'll go into getting started. I showed Alex how to do the Quadcopter tool stuff. I think you can get that figured out fairly well. Geometry of the airframe, and go through and set that up. Start with a Ladybird file would do you fine, and realize when you're in CAN ports that you have to go use 5, 6, 7, and 8, not 1, 2, 3, and 4, because those are strictly for the brushed motors. And of course you have to set up your motor mix. You have to have a copter connected. Let me do that. We'll start it up.
The emergency condition. Critical condition.
And
voltage warning, 8.0 volts.
See how the copter had PWM, and you want CAN. So we'll turn that down.
Voltage warning, 2.3 volts.
Click on the PWM and the down arrow, and there's your CAN. Not CAN H or L, just CAN is all you need. And on this side you change your port numbers to 5 through 8 instead
voltage
of 1
warning,
through 4.
2.0 volts.
Okay. write your frame geometry, get that set up right, and then the
Voltage
next
warning,
step you have to do
2.0
is
volts.
the thrust curve. And that's the confusing one. You've a putty configuration. We're going to do it with Windows, which works probably easiest. You have to download this graph.
Voltage warning, 2.0 volts.
And you'll get these different pages on here. You see the red circle is where it shows up in the program, and you click on those, and up comes this window, and it looks like this.
Voltage warning,
except for
2.0
it
volts.
is still in German or whatever language that is, and you kind of guess what you're doing. You're setting up your x-axis and your y-axis. This is how to set the scale for your grafting of the curve you're going to find for the thrust versus
Voltage
PWM
warning,
curve.
2.0 volts.
And you need a negative number here so that the scales show up. If you put 0 in here, it'll give you the line, but it cuts off your actual scale value. So be sure to start out at a
Voltage
negative
warning,
number
2.0 volts.
and then go up high enough to cover your PWM values and your motor RPM values. And the next window is just as easy.
Voltage warning, 2.0 volts.
You just put in your scale, your X and Y, and you kind of guess at what you're doing here. Click on a few things, you'll figure it out. And be sure to have at least this many inputs. You don't get over
Voltage
15,
warning,
I think.
2.0 volts.
It won't give you a curve. Once you're done with that, then you got to get this formula and put it into this program, as you see circled
Voltage
here.
warning,
Click on
1.9
that,
volts.
and this comes up. The formula you'll find back on the page right here. You just copy that and paste it in there. And then
Voltage
you run
warning,
the program
2.0 volts.
by clicking on here, which I don't know exactly how you get it to run, but keep fiddling with it, you'll figure it out. Get it to run this, and these values and these values are the same, but
Voltage
just a
warning,
little
2.3
bit longer
volts.
extension you need up there. And one is A and one is B, and they're used as the variables that run your curve there. And
Voltage
your
warning,
A1 value is set to
2.0
A,
volts.
and your A2 value here is set to B, and you'll see how it's under motor value 2T A1 right there. Stick them in, and you do that by going
Voltage
to
warning, 2.3 volts.
and right down here you see the values A1, A2, and then your value scale. Well, for the Ladybird it's just 3.5, but you're going to have something around 5,000 in there. And you have to do the
Voltage
same
warning,
thing in all the
2.0
ESCs.
volts.
Get that motor scale value set exactly the same as you have in the Quatos. Now, your PWMs, your radio has to be set up right. And,
Voltage warning,
you don't need to click on it
2.3
there.
volts.
You just do it under radio controls, switch from whatever you have to no radio, and under RC2 use the Futaba radio. Oops, sorry about that.
Voltage
Futaba.
warning, 2.0
And
volts.
you, of course, save everything. You're going to have to change the IMU rotation of the board if you're doing a plus, but otherwise, depending if you mount the board the same as it is in the Ladybird, reference
Voltage
to the
warning,
frame,
2.0
you'll use
volts.
the same IMU value of negative 45. Turn it to plus, you go back to 0. I think I covered most everything you need to know.
Voltage warning,
PWMs,
2.0
I
volts.
think I put the PWMs there for a normal, what's using with CAN bus and ESCs. If not, You're going to have to look and figure out how to put them in there. This value is only halfway up to the
Voltage warning.
1950 that you
2.0
should
volts.
have for your pulse, the length of your PWM signals. And I don't know what they talk about. Chain mid. Very unusual. I don't know.
Voltage warning.
Ladybird is different.
2.0
Your
volts.
values are different. We're going to have to figure that out. It's probably right with, I probably set it up right for you already, but I'm not sure. Okay, enough for the video now. Good luck.
Voltage warning. 2.0 volts.